Today we have Randy Lamb, Operations Officer of the Great Basin Incident Management Team 6. So kind of bring us up to date on the fire and how things are going there.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning. Thanks for having us. So working around the Horn, Nelly Fire, and Bulldog Fire, Snag Fire, all three of those are winding down and working on repair status at this time, and all those repairs are getting finished up on all those fires. There will be periodic smokes from the interior on each of those fires until wintertime comes. The Goat Fire up on the near Boiling Springs and Silver Creek Plunge, that fire on Friday, we did have some additional growth with the winds, mostly on the north end. Right now, we are conducting some burning out operations on the southern end of the fire for the next few days near Boiling Springs and the Silver Creek Plunge. Those operations will bring our fire down to more optimal holding features, and we'll be utilizing both ground resources and unmanned air system for those burnout operations. All in all, the fires are looking really good at this time. Still going to be some, like I say, some definite burnout operations down that southern part of the Goat Fire.
So there's obviously been enough to generate the smoke that we're getting in the valley again this morning. We, for the last couple of weeks, have been describing it as creeping and embers. Have that flare up on the northeast corner of Goat, did that move through something more than grass and brush?
Yeah, on the Goat Fire on Friday, with the wind event coming through, it did generate a lot of heat and did move about 4 miles through the old 2007 burn. That area has basically last few days moderated in intensity. Where most of the smoke's coming from now is down on the southern part of southeast part of the Goat Fire, and that's where the main part of our operations are taking place. At this time, we are still doing some structure assessments in case the northern part of the Goat Fire continues to move. We're doing structure assessments on the Stolle Meadows cabin area and near Warm Lake, but majority of our operations, suppression-wise, are going on the southeast side of the Goat Fire at this time.
Okay. So the things are calming down on the Nelly and the, as you said, on the Nelly and the Bulldog, and I can see your camp from our house. So we've been watching it sort of get a little bit smaller, a little bit more confined, and the traffic's going down a little bit. But what has happened recently as far as resources committed, and what can we look forward to?
Yeah, so currently we have 400 total folks assigned to all the fires combined. The camp is we've divided our camp into one camp here at Garden Valley, and then another camp up at Cascade, and in the next few days you'll see the traffic perhaps even go down more here in Garden Valley as we do establish another spike camp up the Middle Fork near Silver Creek Plunge, where the majority of the folks will be working. But the main camp will be here probably for sure through the week, and probably stretching beyond that. Just looking at long-term weather forecasts, we're not seeing that season-ending event that we're all looking forward to so far. So we'll have to keep a presence just as these fires continue to burn on the landscape.
So up around Silver Creek, over the weekend they had that change in the road closure. In fact, Silver Creek was open for a couple of days, wasn't it? Could you explain what happened there and why?
Yeah, as the fire flared back up again in that area, once again we're having to do some strategic firing, and going to have quite a few folks up in that area, 100 plus firefighters in that area once again, just to do some strategic firing and protect those areas. And with that, just having to do once again, that road closure to make sure the public's safe, make sure our firefighters are safe, limit that traffic on the road there. So that was the reason for that change in the road closures.
Anything else you'd like to cover? We appreciate your time.
No, just know that there will be in the next 4 to 5 days, like I said, some strategic firing, bringing fire down on at a moderate intensity down to our control features, utilizing both ground resources and air resource, being an unmanned air system. And so with that, there'll be a little bit of an increased smoke activity through the next few days, especially with these normal fall time inversions. It kind of captures the smoke here in the valley, unfortunately. And but as they finish up those firing operations, that should diminish over the next 5 days, 7 days with any if everything goes as we intend it to. So
Great, thank you.